Hi, and welcome to another weekly Google Apps Tech Tip. As we near the end of the school year, I thought it might be a good opportunity to talk about how you can move files if you happen to be retiring this year or leaving the district. It's a question we get often is if I'm leaving the district, how can I take my files with me and can I take my contacts with me? So I'm going to walk you through a few different ways that this can be accomplished. The most basic way is to just share a file that you want to keep with a personal account. So my recommendation right off the bat for anyone is to start off by creating your own personal Gmail account. So if you're retiring or moving on to a different district, start with the personal account and then you can share documents with that personal account. The steps don't end there. I'm going to walk you through what you have to do next, but the first thing is to have that personal account created. And once you have the personal account created, you can begin sharing documents. So I'm just going to take a couple of documents we've created in prior tutorials. I'm going to check the checkbox next to it in Google Drive, and I'm going to choose Share. Now the email address that I'll use has to be a personal Gmail account, which is one that I've already created, and I can send the account. Now when I slide over to that personal account, you'll see that when I refresh it, I'll have documents that have been shared with me. And there they are. Okay, so here are the two documents. So now I have access to those documents. The issue with this is, however, once the school district deletes your Queensberry account, these documents will disappear because you're not the owner. The school account is still the owner. And I'll show you that. I'm going to go back to my school account and I'm going to look at the share settings for these documents. And you can see that my school account is still the owner even though I've shared it with the personal account. Now you may notice that if you've ever clicked on this where it says Can Edit, you have the choice to make someone else the owner of your documents. The problem is when I change the personal account to become the owner and click Save, I get a message that says that we don't allow ownership transfer to take place outside of our domain. So that means you can't make a person who does not have a Queensberry School or QUFSD.org account the owner of a document. So a person with a Gmail account cannot become the owner of those documents. So the only way around this, and I'm just going to cancel that out, the only way around this is going back to my personal account is to make a copy of these documents. So this will be great if you only have a few documents that you want to hold on to. If you're doing a lot more than maybe 4 or 5, this will become too tedious, so there's a different way I'll show you. But if you just have a few documents, this will work fine. So I'm going to open up my presentation that I had shared from my school account, and now in my personal account, I'm going to make a copy of that. So now I'll have two documents, one that's still owned by the school and one that's my personal account. And I'll go back to my drive so you can see there's the new one and there's the original one. And I can do the same thing on a document. I'll point out this warning. It tells you that it actually is being still owned by Queensberry. That's okay. So you just click Proceed to Open. And again, I just go to File, Make a Copy, and now I have, when I go back to Google Drive, I have the shared one and I have my copy. So that's a great way to easily keep documents that you have made with your Queensberry account and push it to a personal account. So when you do lose your Queensberry account, you'll still have a copy of these. But again, that's tedious if you have a lot of documents. So I'm going to show you one other way to do this. And that's by using a service called Google Takeout. So I'm going to go back to my school account and I'm going to jump over to Google Takeout, and the easiest way is to just do a Google search, and it's this first choice here is called Google Takeout. Google Takeout allows you to create an archive of a number of services. You can see currently there are 17 products that it will allow you to make a backup of. So to create your backup, you just click this blue Create an Archive button. And you can see the choices. This will create an archive of your various items or services that Google offers. It's not everything, but it's some of the bigger ones, including Mail, Calendar, Contacts, and Drive. So by default, it will select all of them. I can uncheck Select All and just choose specific services to back up. If I wanted to make sure that I kept my contacts and all of my documents, I could create an archive of just those two services. And again, I can check as many as I'd like, including Google Plus, YouTube videos that you may have uploaded, Blogger posting, and maybe your bookmarks that you've kept throughout the years. All right, so I'm just going to click Create My Archive, and it's now actually going to collect all of the data that you've created in any service that you've checked, and it's going to turn it into a single file. So I have this file now that I need to download. You'll want to download that to some place that you can carry with you. So probably a flash drive would be helpful, or you could download it to your desktop and then email that file to your personal account, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click download. Just need to log into my email. Okay, so now it's downloading this file. I can see it here. Okay, here's my file that I've created for today. So now I'm going to email that to my personal account. So I'm going to jump over to email. I'm going to compose a new message to my personal account, and I'm going to attach that file to this email. Okay, and there's my file. So I'm just going to drag it into there, and now I've attached that archive file to an email to my personal account. So I send the email on. Now in just a moment, I'm going to shoot over to my Gmail, check for my new messages, and here's my archive message that I sent. Here's my archive file. Now, this file can't be used directly. You have to unzip it, okay, because it's compressing a lot of different elements. There's Google Drive documents, there's email contacts, it could be mail, it could be calendar, it could be bookmarks. They all come in different formats. So for my zip drive, I need to download this to my computer at home, and then I'm going to click on it. And the way that Windows works is you just have to click this extract button and say extract all. So it's actually going to extract all those files, and I'm going to put it on my desktop. So what will happen at the end is you'll get a folder with all your takeout files. When you open it up, you can see it's got two subfolders, Contacts and Drive. It would have subfolders for every service. So if I had bookmarks, if I had Gmail, if I had Calendar, you'd see a bookmark for every one of those that can be imported into each service at home. So for this, because I only chose two things, I just have to import both of those items into those related services. So Contacts would go into Gmail, and Drive, of course, would go into Drive. So now I'm going to go back over to my personal account. Okay, this is my personal Gmail account. I'm going to upload that folder that has my backup of my Google Drive account. So I click on, here's the one for today. There it is. It's called Drive. You can see here all the folders that I imported in. I click OK. I want to make sure I convert everything to Google format, and I upload. So now it's going to take all those documents from my school account, and it's going to upload it into my personal account. And as you can see, there's a folder created called Drive, and if I open it up, these documents, files, folders will be created in time. While that's doing its work, we'll come back and take a look at that in just a minute. I'm also going to do the same thing for my contacts. So in Gmail, I'm going to go to Contacts, and I'm going to choose Import. It's going to say how it imports it in. Because we've used Google Takeout, it's in the right format. So now I just need to choose that file. So here's my contacts folder. Here are the files, and you could choose to break it up by different groups. I think all of mine are just in the all contacts group. So I select that, click open, and import them in, and there are all of my imported file or imported contacts. You can see it actually tells me that I imported it in. It also created a subgroup. So I know the ones that I had already in my personal account and the ones that I brought in from my Queensberry account. So this will work for any of the services you're doing. Let me shoot back over to Drive so you can see it still is adding folders. I have 74 files and folders as part of my school account that I'm bringing into my personal account. So Google Takeout's a great way to bring everything in mass. The key is having that personal account to be able to bring stuff into. If you have any questions about how to do this step, please let us know. Okay, so now there's one last step I want to show you. So I've now shared documents with my personal account, either by making a copy or by downloading an archive. there's one last part of this, and that's if you want someone in the district to have your files. So I'm going to go back over to my school account. So now, if you remember earlier, we looked at how we could share a file with our personal account. What I could also choose to do is share this with someone in district. So I can just type in a different user. Okay, so this is actually a different user that I have. And when I choose to share it with them, I need to share it first. Okay, and once I share it, now I can go to this person and I can make them the owner of that document. If you don't make them the owner, when your account files are deleted in December, the people that you've shared the document with are going to lose it unless one of them becomes the owner. So on a case-by-case basis, you may choose to have certain documents share with people and then make someone who you share that with the owner of that document so that they don't lose it when your files are deleted. So it's as simple as checking owner. You can see it removes the ownership from the original person, makes a new person the owner, and you click save. So now that person is in charge of all the sharing settings and they're in charge of that file. The last part of this is that you could choose to do all of your documents. You could choose to share and transfer ownership with all of your documents. So what you may want to do is take the files that you want to keep for good and then delete them. And then whatever is left behind, the things that you are comfortable keeping here for others to use, we can actually in one batch transfer send it to another user in the district. So you just simply need to email us, let us know, submit a help desk and say, I want you to transfer all of my Google Drive files to another user in the district, and let us know who that is. And what we do is we come over to our little tool here in the back end and we simply type in the address of one person and the address of the second person, and we click transfer documents, and it will create a folder in that person's Google Drive account with your name on it, and will have all of the files that are existing in your account under them, and they become the owner, so they don't have to worry about losing anything. So that's a decision you'll need to make. If there's anything that you want to keep for everyone to have, then you'll just need to let us know. We can transfer ownership of all of your accounts, or again, you can choose to do it on a case-by-case basis, one document or file at a time.